The text message I received after my husband proposed, I still remember the exact moment he got down on one knee. We were standing by the lake, the sun was setting, and everything looked like something out of a movie. He pulled out a small black box, opened it, and asked me to marry him. I said yes, of course. I was crying. He was crying. It was perfect. But just 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it at first. I mean, who checks their phone after getting engaged? But when I finally did, there was a message waiting for me. One that made my blood run cold. It was from an unknown number, and it said, "Don't say yes. He's not who you think he is." That was it. No name, no explanation, just those 6 words. And somehow, they ruined the happiest moment of my life. My name is Emily. At the time, I was 28 years old, working as a graphic designer in Chicago. I met Daniel 2 years earlier at a mutual friend's birthday party. Tall, charming, smart, he had this way of making everyone feel comfortable. We hit it off instantly. Conversations with him felt easy, like we'd known each other forever. He worked in finance, traveled a lot, but always made time for me. Never missed a date. Always remembered the little things. If I mentioned liking a song once, he'd play it the next time we were together. We moved in together after 8 months. Everything seemed normal, or so I thought. The proposal was his idea. He planned it all, the location, the timing, even hired a photographer to capture the moment from behind a tree. I had no idea it was coming. That's why it felt so real. So when that text came through, I laughed it off. Probably a prank. Maybe someone saw us and wanted to mess with me. But deep down, something didn't feel right. I tried to forget about the message. We celebrated our engagement with dinner, champagne, and a long walk home. I told myself it was nothing. Still, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Who would send that? And why? I didn't tell Daniel about the text. I didn't want to ruin the moment. But the more I tried to push it away, the louder it echoed in my mind. The next day, I checked my phone again. Still no new messages from that number. I typed it into Google. Nothing. Not even registered in any spam lists. I showed it to my best friend, Sarah. She laughed. "Some creep probably saw you too and got jealous," she said. But she also added something else. "Unless," she stopped herself. "What?" I asked. "Nothing," she said. "Forget it." But now I was curious. "Tell me." She sighed. "I don't know. I've just never really trusted him." That shocked me. "What do you mean? You've known him since we started dating." She nodded. "But I've noticed some things. Small stuff. Like how he never talks about his past. Or how he gets weird when you ask about certain topics." I waved her off. Everyone has things they don't want to talk about. Still, the seed was planted. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the screen, rereading the message over and over. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I Googled Daniel, just his name. No last name, just Daniel plus Chicago. What I found chilled me. There was an old news article from 5 years ago. Headline: Local woman disappears after dating mysterious man. The story was short. A woman named Lisa had gone missing. Her boyfriend at the time was described only as a man named Daniel. No photo, no last name. The article said he had vanished too. I read it 3 times. Then I searched again. This time I added finance to the search. Another result popped up. A Reddit thread from a user asking if anyone knew a Daniel who dated multiple women in different states and then disappeared. Someone replied, "Yeah, I dated him. He broke up with me out of nowhere, said he had to move overseas for work. I never heard from him again." Another comment, "Same here. He said he loved me, proposed after 6 months, then left without a word." I dropped my phone. My hands were shaking. How could this be real? The next morning, I confronted Daniel. I tried to stay calm. "Do you know a woman named Lisa?" He froze. His face went completely blank. Then he smiled. "No," he said. "Why?" I showed him the article. He looked at it, then looked at me. "That's not me," he said. "There are lots of Daniels, but the timeline matches." I said, You were in Chicago around that time. He shrugged. I was working overseas, he said. When? He hesitated. Around 2017 or 2018. I think. You think? He looked annoyed. Emily, come on. You're going to believe some random internet article over me? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Because now I wasn't sure what to believe. Later that week I kept digging. I found another name. Another woman. This time in Boston. Her name was Claire. She had written a blog post years ago about being ghosted by someone she called the perfect man. She described him in detail. Tall, dark hair, brown eyes, charismatic, charming. He proposed after 4 months, then suddenly left. She wrote, I thought I had found the love of my life, but he vanished, left no note, no goodbye, just silence. I scrolled through her photos, and there he was, in one picture standing next to her at a concert. It was him. It was Daniel. I printed the photo, held it in my hand, then I walked into the living room where he was watching TV. I held it up. Who is this? He looked at it. His face turned pale. I can explain, he said. I waited. He didn't speak. Finally, he spoke. It's not what it looks like, he said. I stared at him. Then what is it? He took a deep breath. I dated her, he admitted, years ago, before us, and you never told me. I didn't think it mattered. I shook my head. She wrote that you proposed to her, that you disappeared. He looked away. I panicked, he said. Panic about what? He paused. I was in trouble. What kind of trouble? He stood up. This is complicated. I followed him. Try me. He sat back down. I owed money, he said, quietly. A lot of it. To who? A loan shark. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How much? Over $200,000. I gasped. Where did that even come from? I invested in something stupid, he said. Lost everything. I stared at him. And you didn't think to tell me this before proposing. I didn't want to scare you. So instead, you let me find out through a stranger's blog post. He didn't answer. I stood up. I need space. He reached for me. Please, Emily, don't leave. I backed away. I don't even know who you are anymore. Over the next few days I barely spoke to him. I stayed at Sarah's house. She kept asking me what I was going to do. I didn't know. Then one night, he showed up at her door. He begged me to hear him out. So I did. We sat on her porch. He told me everything. He had been running from debt for years, moved from city to city, changed jobs, lied about his past. He met Claire in Boston, got serious, told her he was moving overseas, left without saying goodbye, then came to Chicago, met me, fell in love, for real. He said he wanted to start over, be honest, build a life, but the debt followed him. They found him again, and he didn't know what to do. I listened, every word. Then I asked, if you hadn't gotten caught, would you have ever told me? He looked at me. I don't know. I stood up. I think you should go. He didn't fight me. He just walked away. I ended things with him. It hurt, more than I expected, because despite everything, I did love him. But love isn't enough when there are secrets that big. Months passed. I changed my number, blocked him everywhere. Then one day I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a check, $250,000, and a note. I paid everything off. I'm starting over. Thank you for showing me what real love looks like. I never saw him again. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder where he is, if he's okay, if he's happy, and if that text message was the worst thing that ever happened to me, or the best, because without it, I might have said yes, and lived a lie. After everything, one question still burned in my mind. Who sent that text? The message had come from an untraceable number, no name attached, no follow-up. But now that Daniel was gone, and I had some distance, I felt like I could finally try to find out. I went back to the number. It was still active. I typed a message. Who are you? Sent. I waited, and waited. Nothing. Days passed. Then weeks. I almost gave up. Then one night, my phone buzzed. A new message. Same number. It read, you don't know me, but I used to love him too. That was it. Just 2 sentences. I stared at the screen. My heart pounded. I replied immediately. Are you Claire? No response. I tried again. Did you send me that message after the proposal? Still nothing. Then a few minutes later, another message came through. I didn't want you to end up like me. I sat down. This wasn't just some random warning. This was personal. She knew what would happen, because it happened to her. I couldn't stop thinking about her. Who was she? How did she know about the proposal? Did she watch us? Was she there? I needed answers. So I messaged again. Please talk to me. I need to understand. Minutes ticked by. Then a reply. Meet me if you want the truth. She sent an address. A coffee shop across town. Tomorrow at noon. I didn't hesitate. I said yes. The next day, I walked into the cafe, nervous, excited, terrified. I scanned the room. She was already sitting at a corner table. She looked older than I expected. Late 30s maybe. Wore sunglasses even though we were inside. I approached. She looked up. Her eyes met mine. I recognized her. From the blog post. Claire. I sat down. We stared at each other for a moment. Then she spoke. You look just like her, she said. Like who? The first one. I didn't say anything. She took a sip of her coffee. I saw you two at the lake, she said. When he proposed. I blinked. You were watching. She nodded. I had to make sure history wasn't repeating itself. I leaned forward. Why send the message? She sighed. Because I made the mistake of saying yes. I swallowed hard. What happened after he left you? She smiled sadly. He ghosted me. Disappeared overnight. Took everything with him. My trust. My hope. Even my savings. I gasped. He stole from you. She nodded. He convinced me to invest with him. Said it was a safe opportunity. I trusted him. Gave him all my money. How much? $80,000. I couldn't believe it. And you never reported him. I did, she said. But he had no real name. No real job. Just a story. I shook my head. I can't believe this. She reached across the table. I sent that message because I didn't want you to go through what I did. And when I saw him on one knee, I panicked. I looked at her. Thank you. She smiled. You're welcome. Then she stood up. Take care of yourself, Emily. And she walked away, leaving me with more questions than answers. After our meeting, I couldn't stop digging. Claire had confirmed what I feared. Daniel wasn't his real name. So I kept searching. And then I found something else. Another woman. Different state. Same story. Her name was Jenna. Lived in Atlanta. She posted anonymously on a forum called Exposing Lies. She wrote, he told me he loved me. Proposed after 5 months. Then vanished. Left me heartbroken and broke. Attached was a photo. Him again. I printed it. Saved it. Then I searched again. This time I added, Jenna plus Atlanta plus missing man. One result caught my eye. A missing persons report. Filed by Jenna. For someone named David. Not Daniel. David. I read the report. It listed several names he used, including Daniel. Also mentioned he had a habit of disappearing after getting close to women. I scrolled down. There was a note from police. Suspect has a pattern of emotional manipulation and financial fraud. Victims often describe him as charming and persuasive. I closed my laptop. I couldn't read anymore. Because now I knew. He wasn't just lying to me. He had done this before, and probably would do it again. I decided to reach out to Jenna. Found her Instagram. Sent a DM. Told her who I was. She replied within minutes. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I asked if we could talk. She agreed. We set up a video call. An hour later I saw her face. She looked tired, sad, but strong. We talked for over an hour. She told me how he came into her life like a dream, swept her off her feet, made her feel special, then slowly started asking for money. First small things, plane tickets, rent help, then bigger ones, investments, loans. She gave him $150,000. Then one day, he was gone. Just like that. She cried for weeks. Reported him. But by then, he had changed his number. Moved cities. She never saw him again, until she saw his face on my screen. I thought I was the only one, she said. I shook my head. So did I. As I kept digging, I found something darker. Older records, from 10 years ago, a court case, involving a man named David Morgan, charged with fraud and identity theft. The details matched. He had posed as a financial advisor, scammed multiple women, used fake names, dated them, borrowed money, then disappeared. He served 3 years in prison, released early for good behavior. That explained why he was so smooth, so convincing. He had practice. He learned how to play people, how to get them to fall in love, how to take everything, and leave without a trace. I sat back in my chair. Everything clicked. He hadn't just lied to me. He had built a life based on lies. And I was just another chapter in his story. I had 2 choices: stay silent, or speak out. I chose the second. I created a blog, wrote my story, posted photos, tagged locations, warned others. Within days, more women came forward. Dozens, from all over the country, each with the same story, each with a different name for him. Daniel, David, Derek, Dominic, but always the same face, always the same game. I uploaded everything online. News outlets picked it up. Some labeled him a con artist, others called him a heartbreaker. Either way, he was exposed, and I finally felt free. Time passed. I moved on, started therapy, learned to trust again, met someone new, someone honest, real. But I'll never forget what happened, what I went through. Sometimes I wonder if he ever reads what I wrote, if he sees the damage he caused, if he feels any guilt. I doubt it. People like him don't change. They move on, find new victims, new lives, new names. But now there's a warning, a trail, and more women watching, more voices speaking up. And that gives me peace, because I didn't just survive. I fought back. And I won. That text message changed everything. It ruined the happiest moment of my life. But in the end, it saved me. Because if I hadn't gotten that warning, if I hadn't questioned the truth, I might have said yes, and lived a lie. Now I'm sharing this story, so no one else has to go through what I did. If you ever feel something isn't quite right, if someone seems too perfect, if they rush things, listen to that voice inside your head. Trust it. Because sometimes the person who looks like your future is hiding a past full of lies. If this story hit close to home, or if you've been through something similar, drop your experience in the comments below. You're not alone. And if you want more stories like this, real, raw, and revealing, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications too, because episode 2 drops soon. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and never ignore that gut feeling. Thanks for watching.